it to a public-owned company. The arrival of Socadel raises the expectations of Cameroonians and also brings to the limelight the difficulties plaguing the electricity sector in the country. Promise Akante in the following report presents to us some of the challenges that await Socadel in the following report.
A reduction in power cuts through centralized management, tariff transparency under public ownership, and the extension of the network to rural areas. These are some of the public expectations on this new entity, now a national priority. By moving from Eneyo to Socadel, the Cameroonian government is taking back control of a strategic sector. Electricity is a cornerstone of Cameroon's economic growth, crucial for achieving the nation's 2035 development goals and supporting key sectors like manufacturing, agriculture, and services. While roughly 94% of electricity in the country is generated from hydropower, inconsistent access currently limits its overall impact, with significant gaps between urban 94% and rural 25% access. The Board of Directors' immediate task will therefore be to stabilize the new entity's finances and to define the investment plan required to modernize a network often criticized for its dilapidated state. The Société Camerounaise d'Électricité Socadel, in terms of its legal status, is now a publicly owned company. This status grants the state total control over the assets and strategic direction of the energy distribution and sales sector, whose importance can never be overemphasized, driving industrialization and economic growth, social development, and many others. The aging infrastructure and power cuts of Eneyo, inherited by Socadel, negatively impact business productivity, leading to high operational costs for companies relying on generators. Rural areas have very low electrification rates, limiting economic opportunities and increasing poverty. Electricity is often expensive, making it a heavy burden for households and SMEs. The significance of the financial stakes involved in this nationalization is reflected in the seriousness that comes with the presidential decrees. Despite administrative centralization in Yaoundé, Socadel maintains its economic roots in Douala, where its head office will be located, confirming the role of the economic metropolis as the nerve center of technical operations.
Still in connection to that story, the creation of the Cameroon Electricity Company Socadel, replacing the Energy of Cameroon Eneyo, has been met with open arms but with mixed feelings, with Cameroonians are hoping for a change in the situation. They are calling on the people in charge to rise to the challenge and improve the image of the electricity transmission in Cameroon. Let's get details in the following report by Madoshe Kwiate and Sharon Aratany.
Following the decree signed by President Paul Biya establishing Société Camerounaise d'Électricité Socadel to replace Eneyo, citizens across Cameroon have expressed mixed reactions, combining skepticism with cautious optimism.
C'est plusieurs décisions qui ont été prises qui n'ont pas toujours.
The decisions that were made haven't always brought us major changes in the quality of the electricity we have in Cameroon. What happened for Sonel to change his name? And what happened for IES Sonel to become Eneyo? And now Eneyo is changing to Socadel. This reflects a widely shared concern that structural inefficiencies and poor services delivery may persist despite institutional changes. That is Mvele that was set up. It doesn't change anything. We invested billions, which produces nothing. At the last minute, they are talking to us about an energy transport company. And until now, Cameroonians are still in the dark. Yesterday, light went off 5 times. It comes and for an hour, then it goes off. Some citizens see the reform as an opportunity for stronger management and renewed investment in the energy sector.
Est-ce qu'on a augmenté les capacités de production d'énergie?
Regarding the production of electric energy in Cameroon, as everyone knows, electricity is essential to a country's development. But has the production capacity in Cameroon increased? Have dams been multiplied? Is there enough water? And can the growing population of Cameroon be served? That is the question. So we are waiting to see what the government will do. We expect concrete actions, and especially that the price of electricity will be lowered. While the creation of Socadel is viewed as a potential turning point, public opinion remains divided. Trust in the new entity will ultimately depend on its ability to deliver consistent and reliable electricity, addressing long-standing challenges in Cameroon's power sector.
Announced this afternoon during a press conference, Umaru Haman Joda has been appointed as the new Director General of Socadel, the national electricity company in Cameroon. A university professor and a polytechnic-trained engineer, he previously served as the General Secretariat of the Presidency of the Republic between 2003 and 2009 before joining ENEO Cameroon in August 2009. He later rose through the ranks and was appointed Deputy Director General in 2014, marking a steady progression in his leadership career within the country's energy sector. And we move over to the Yaoundé 4 subdivision, where the municipality has launched construction of this state-of-art multimodal complex Van Magzi, aiming to replace outdated facilities and ease congestions on city routes. The 24-month build operator transfer project will deliver an 8,721 meter square hub with commercial, hospitality and transport services designed to international standards. Let's get details in the following report by Mado Shekwiate and Melanimbo.
The project will deliver a total floor area of 8,721 meters square spread over 3 levels. Key technical specifications include 75 commercial units, 53 shops, 7 restaurants and 7 bakeries alongside an integrated 28-room hotel for transit travelers.
The planting of the first block that will lead to the construction of a modern transport park, transportation agency here in Yaoundé 4, and this transportation agency will group all vehicles that will be transporting the population to the different areas of our subdivision and out of our subdivision.
Officials say the project directly targets urban resilience by decongesting major roads and improving intercity transport safety.
The mayor and his executive has realized that with the policy of private and public partnership, they can mobilize extra funds with their partners, and that is what has just been done, because the Council of Yaoundé 4 subdivision has mobilized 3.5 billion francs CFA that will be used to finance this project.
Beyond mobility, the complex is expected to generate hundreds of direct jobs during construction and operation, while its mix of retail, hospitality and services boosts the local economy. The design incorporates urban areas and recreational spaces to ensure functionality and comfort.
It will help to fight against urban disorder, and you find out that it's a good initiative. Within the deadline, the project can see the light of day. And we want to ask the population of Yaoundé 4 subdivision to support this project and to appropriate the project, because the project is for them. Their appropriation of the project will make the realization to meet their needs. And
once completed, the Van Magzi station will stand as a model of modern municipal infrastructure in the Yaoundé 4 municipality.
Projects like this are not found everywhere, and we want to say that we are on our development drive, and we are not waiting for 2035. We think that with such projects, Yaoundé 4 subdivision is going to emerge before 2035.
By combining transport, commerce, security, and accommodation in one facility, the project signals a shift toward integrated urban planning.
Let's now take you over to the north region of the country, where a high-level government mission is underway in north region of the country. Key ministers joined forces to accelerate development project and reinforce a state presence in the region, led by Alamin Usman May, alongside officials from the Ministries of Agriculture, Livestock and Youth. The visit reflects a coordinated government efforts to boost inclusive growth, support and local communities, and ensure the effective implementation of national priorities on the ground. The delegation is focusing on assessing the progress and impact of major initiatives under the National Development Strategy 2020-2030, particularly in the Benue Valley, Logon Valley, and the Lake Chad Basin. As part of the mission, authorities are also overseeing the official handover of agricultural equipment and machinery to beneficiaries through key government programs aimed at strengthening local production capacity, modernizing farming practices, and promoting import substitution. By supporting farmers, herders, and young entrepreneurs, the government seeks to drive structural economic transformation, create jobs, and improve food security while enhancing resilience to climate change and environmental pressures. This mission underscores a broader ambition to revitalize agro-pastoral sectors and uplift vulnerable populations, with the delegation expected to continue its tour in the far north region in the coming days. We bring you back to the center region of the country, where workers of the supermarket wherein a fellow colleague was flogged have received the visit of the Minister of Labor and Social Security following the unfortunate incident. Minister Gregoire Ouna used the visit to reiterate that Cameroon is a state of law and everyone should respect the laws in force. It is in this light that Promise Akante and Madushe Kouyaté were at the site and brought back the following report.
The arrival of the Minister of Labour and Social Security in the company of the Secretary General of the Ministry, the divisional delegate and other state officials came as the much-needed attention following the torture of Cameroonian workers, coming barely few hours after the commemoration of the International Labour Day, where the rights of workers were defended. Minister Gregoire Ouna reiterated the role of his ministerial department as well as the legal stance of the nation Cameroon. We are not in a country without laws. The request is simple, that the rules be respected by everyone. Citizens must respect the laws, but the leaders too must respect the laws that concern them. It was also an opportunity for Minister Gregoire Ouna to remind the staff representative to act accordingly, reiterating that staff delegates should be elected and not appointed by the employers. So, since you are the staff delegate appointed by them, you will tell them that the Minister of Labour and Social Security was here, accompanied by the Secretary General of the Ministry and the regional delegate, amongst others, and that I am waiting for them at the Ministry. While rejoicing with the coming of the minister, the workers expressed the wish to see the government official defend the rights of citizens.
I'm a cleaner, I'm working up here. So he came out, you don't know what his action is what. But those are the people that are in front of us just to make us to be proud. They are not in front of us to make a stranger to be proud in our own country.
The workers did not fail to express their disappointment over the shabby treatment received from foreigners under the watchful and almost accomplice eyes of those who are supposed to protect them.
We Cameroonians were very disappointed. Because of what? Because of the way that our minister the way our own law is passing here in Cameroon. In Nigeria, Lagos, they did not disturb me that way. But when I enter in Cameroon, that is where uniform people started disturbing me. I told them that I'm not afraid of you people. Because what I've seen, now like this, I'm already in my land. I cannot afraid. People should take me and go and log me.
The dust is yet to settle over the video making rounds on social media showing a worker being flogged. Fingers are crossed as Cameroonians expect better treatment from their foreign employers.
Let's now take you over to Mongo Division in the littoral region in Lum, where tensions are rising sharply within the motorcycle sector, which has quickly become the center of a growing confrontation between riders, municipal authorities, and local administration. The situation has been fueled by reports of strict and sometimes forceful checks, as well as controversial seizures of motorcycles, which operators describe as arbitrary and unfair. The frustration built bike riders are increasingly voicing anger and a strong sense of injustice, arguing that the measures taken against them lack transparency and proper consultation, further deepening mistrust between stakeholders. On the other side, both the town hall and the administration defend their respective actions, each claiming to be acting within legal and regulatory frameworks, which has created a parallel dispute over interpretation of the rules governing the sector. This institutional disagreement has intensified the crisis, turning a regulatory issue into an open standoff that exposes deeper governance challenges in a transport system that remains essential to local mobility and livelihoods. As accusations and counter-accusations continue, authorities have called for urgent dialogue and mediation to prevent the situation from escalating further into a broader social conflict with serious consequences for the community. We shall be bringing you more updates in our subsequent newscast at 8 p.m. Let's now take you beyond our borders to get updates of what make news. First up will be in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, and then Zambia. These stories are compiled in the following report. A massive wave of demonstrators flooded the streets of Kinshasa in a powerful show of support for U.S. sanctions against former President Joseph Kabila, whom the United States accuses of backing March 23 rebels in the troubled eastern region of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Protesters aligned with the government praised the move as a major step in the fight against impunity, blaming Kabila for fueling violence that has claimed thousands of lives and forced many more from their homes. Despite a recent peace agreement, clashes continue in the mineral-rich East, deepening an already severe humanitarian crisis. While authorities in Kinshasa welcomed the sanctions, Kabila has strongly rejected the allegations, describing them as a politically motivated and lacking any credible evidence. Tensions flared once again in Khartoum as a drone targeting Khartoum International Airport was shot down before impact, with Sudanese authorities blaming the paramilitary rapid support forces and alleging foreign backing. The government accused Ethiopia of involvement and claimed the United Arab Emirates supplied the drones, allegations both nations deny while recalling its ambassador in protest. The failed strike, which caused no casualties, comes days after a deadly drone attack on civilians and underscores the persistent instability in Sudan, where conflict continues despite the army's earlier recapture of the capital and gradual efforts to restore normal life. Rising tensions have cast a shadow over relations between Zambia and the United States as a major health funding deal worth billions hit a deadlock after months of negotiations. Zambian authorities revealed that talks stalled over controversial conditions tied to critical minerals partnerships and data sharing clauses, which the government says could compromise citizens' privacy rights. The proposed agreement, part of Washington's new approach to tightly managed aid following the closure of U.S. aid, included $2 billion in support over 5 years, but with declining annual contributions compared to previous funding levels. While the U.S. aimed to reshape its assistance model, Lusaka has pushed back against what it considers unacceptable terms, leaving the future of the deal uncertain. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. It was a pleasure staying with you. Up next is Selak Chi, a presentation of Tabi Clarkson. Stay tuned.